Sandman lives on your street, apparently.
Oh yeah,
With all the empty fucking liquor bottles and shit.
dude.
You're just gonna go down the street one day and see him on his porch.
I wouldn't doubt it. Somebody that I don't know, one of my neighbors that I don't know, really is going to be out there yelling at me because I picked up the bottle of Fireball and I picked it up and there was enough in there for a good sip. and I took a picture of it and sent it to the girl that lives down the street. And I was like, Sam, what do you think will go wrong if I drink this? And she's like, what is it? I said, I found it on the side of the road when I was getting some wood. She goes, don't drink that.
I found it next to a pair of red, white, and blue Zubaz.
No, but there was a pair of knee pads there. Seriously,
not for gardening.
Yeah, I think they were like somebody that like skated or something. There is a pair of knee pads on the side of the street too.
Yeah, it's not Sandman, it's Jason.
Oh yeah, right. Him and the Grand Wizard. Yeah,
was there a busted down geo tracker with weeds growing out of it in the backyard of one of the houses?
I ain't gone down that far yet. Then maybe, but that show, dude. I swear to God, I was in Kroger's. I'm standing in the checkout line. Like I had my beer on the counter and I had some other stuff on the counter, and I'm just looking at my phone because at first the first day. I couldn't log on to Skype, so I had somebody do it for me, so I could see them and everything. But then the second day, the lady wasn't here to help me, so I couldn't log on to it right. So I had to do it just by audio. But like the day I was at the grocery store, I got all my stuff on the counter. Like I'm just literally talking to my phone, and the lady's like talking. Do you have a Kroger card? And I'm just doing my shopping, going yeah. And then Tommy Cairo. I remember that, and she's just looking at me. I'm like, I did the podcast on the way home, and I'm yelling at cars and everything. I can't wait to see how it turns out, to see like when you can hear all the audible, because you know when he says when he does like WCW and something goes wrong, he'll go WCW everybody.
Yeah.
Well, here nobody either has exhaust systems on their car, or they're all souped up. So I'm outside. Every truck that rides by, and then I'll hear like after a while he stopped asking, but like, what is that? I go, Knoxville, everybody. I mean, I think it was 5 hours, over 5 hours one day, and over 3 hours another day. God, I'm just like, and that was not even doing the international section.
That's wild.
Because I think there was a big oh shit, what was it? Something happened that week. I think it was like Hogan going to WCW or something, or something big story like that. So that took up like 2 hours of just reading. I'm like, do they really just read the sheet and just talk about what was in the Observer at the time?
Well, Happy New Year, everybody, and you can. Yeah, we were just discussing. You can check out Chad Austin on this week's episode. It's going to be this week, right, Chad? I think.
Oh, who knows? I don't know. I mean, I think
you started recording it a month ago. But...
yeah, I think I would say in like 2 weeks.
All right, we'll keep a listen out for Chad on Between the Sheets with our friend Chris Zellner, and that is going to be coming up. And we're back after a few weeks layover. Happy New Year! Hope everybody had a great holiday season on Reliving the Extreme. And we are still stuck in November to remember. It's
96.
It's November 26th, 1996. 96 is almost over. We're almost there. Chad says it feels like we've been doing 96 since 93.
Dude, my like, you know, when you watch a channel so long on like YouTube or whatever, after a while it says, "Are you still watching?"
Yeah, are you still watching? Are you still watching this?
That's what my Peacock says when I'm watching the ECW. I could be watching like a different show, and it would just say like, "Are you still watching ECW 96?"
I hate how judgmental it makes you feel, or it makes you like, you know what I mean? Are you still watching? Like, oh, fuck off.
You fat bastard. Are you still watching Squid Game?
Yeah, I can't wait to see how it comes out too, because I know they're gonna, because how we taped it, we kind of taped it like in kind of sections, so I'm gonna see how they piece it all together. So, yeah, it should be interesting. I told them that please, if you want me to do another one, because they said I was great, and they had a great time and all. I was like, well, can we space it out before I do another one? Like, I'm not in a hurry to come back. Yeah, but that's okay with you guys.
You need to rest up.
God, yeah, it was something else, man.
But yeah, that's if you never listened to Between the Sheets, it's a good podcast if you enjoy wrestling history and stuff. I was saying before we went on the air, I do enjoy it, but it is a long haul if you're going to listen to the whole thing. They put a lot of work into that show, so
he just raised the Observer.
This okay. Okay. How they put a lot of time into that show? How's that? I'll clarify.
Like yeah.
But we are, like I said, we're at November 26, 1996, ECW Hardcore TV. And we start off the show with a Taz promo telling his side of the story in his rivalry with Sabu. So kind of, sort of a recap of a recap of a recap. But I thought it was done in an effective way, to hear Taz's side of the story as far as his feelings on Sabu. And
it's also like when we talk about like, oh, this guy's the heel in the situation, but like in the storyline, they're presenting him as the heel, but he's actually kind of right. Taz is kind of right. You know what I mean? Like, he's the guy that stayed loyal. Sabu left. Like, Sabu left and took the money instead of going to the show,
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody's like, oh, shit. And then Sabu's back and everybody's just ignore it. Let's not judge him. It's like, what? This guy walked out.
Why is he mad at Sabu?
Because the whole thing came.
No,
the whole
I know
thing
why.
came from.
I know what he's saying about him going to Japan and that stuff, but that's business. I'm thinking he should be more pissed at Paul, right? That's what I'm thinking. He should be mad at anybody.
Which is that they actually kind of put it into that story too, where it's almost like because last week he said he was going to spoil his surprise, and it's almost like he wants Sabu because he can't get Paul. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's just in the whole situation though. It's like Taz is right. He's the guy that stuck around. Now he's getting pushed aside, but because Sabu's back. You know what I mean?
Well, that, and he also, it's a good way. He does a good job subtly, not even so much subtly, not just attacking Sabu or attacking Paul Heyman, but making it about the fans too. Like, you fucking fans.
Yeah.
This guy left us. We're supposed to be this tight knit, this ECW
like whenever they try to cheer him now, he's like, fuck off. You didn't want to cheer me back when the guy was gone. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck off. I don't need you now.
Yeah, I got no problem. I got no problem with Taz being the baby face here. Not one bit. Although I gotta say this, man. I don't know whether it was my TV or something that Peacock did, but Taz had some pearly whites. It was like it was the side of his face, and like it's the only thing that stuck out to me was his teeth.
Yeah, they had the light really dim, so yeah, it was kind of like teeth in the darkness,
and he was so dark because of his skin color. You know what I mean? I was just like, I just see teeth.
But yeah, like I said, I thought as an opener and to explain his side of the story, and they have quite a bit of time now between November and April before the pay-per-view to fill. To tell this story, so hopefully it's spaced right and they do it properly.
They've been doing it for a year already.
Yeah,
they've been doing it right. They've been doing it for longer than a year, because Taz even said it when he says that he carried him. Well, he said he was carrying him for like the last year, but it was actually like the year before that.
Well, I was gonna say the first time they teamed together, he was still covered in raccoon pelts or whatever.
Yeah, that was like '93. So it's been theoretically it's been over 2 years that this has been going on. Maybe not as continuously, but it's been going on like that long. God, jeez, it was. And they're talking about putting out a video a documentary of Adam Cole and MJF being like 6 hours. Put out this fucking documentary. That's a Sabu. God.
Speaking of which, a lot of cool ECW stuff on. If I don't mind to give it a plug, but if you guys, anybody wants to check out the stuff they've been putting up on the ECW or the WWE Vault YouTube page. Last week was ECW week. They had quite a bit of ECW stuff on there.
How do you find this?
It's literally on if
YouTube.
you go on YouTube, just type in WWE Vault, and it is a page that WWE has now where they just put shit on this YouTube page that like they have like Chris Kanyon wrestling dark matches on SmackDown as Mortis on there, and like they put all.
So it's not Peacock.
No, it's
No,
on
just
on
YouTube.
YouTube, and it's kind of like
wonder
that.
I
It's
can't
kind of like
find it.
that. It's kind of like a mix of that hidden gems thing they used to have on the old network, and then they have some different documentaries and stuff on there too. And it's free of charge; you don't have to pay for it. So
Well, that's why I can't find it, because I've been on Peacock, like scrolling through, going where else could it be? I'm just thinking, like no shit. I'd never even thought about looking on YouTube. I guess now I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Jesus, I need a job.
Remember when we were younger and we wanted to consume all the wrestling we could, and we were like, "There's not enough wrestling." And nowadays, you're like, "There's too much fucking wrestling."
Dude, some of the stuff that I've been, you ain't kidding, man. Some of the stuff that I've been rabbit holing like recently, I found some stuff from Gulf Coast from like '77 with like the Samoans. I mean, it's amazing quality, like stuff like that. But I'm just like watching it, and like the jobbers just look so. Even the stars look terrible. Like I mean, they're just not in shape and anything, and. Like, how did wrestling succeed? I mean, like all that time. Because I've been trying to find, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but somebody posted like a Georgia from like '77. And it has like Abdullah, I think Mark Lewin, and Rock Hunter on it. And I know that Zellner is the one that posts everything on YouTube from Georgia. Mm-hmm. And he said that he didn't have anything prior to 79. But I can't find it.
I wonder who would. I wonder who. Yeah, I was gonna say. I wonder who would even have that.
Well, it can't be Freelander because the quality's too good. I know that. And it can't be Roy because I didn't give it to him. Maybe that Richard Land guy. I don't know. But all right, back to the ECW show. Our opening match for this show, for this episode of the show, anyway, is Axel Rotten versus Hack Myers.
Axel Dookie Braids Rotten.
Yeah, I was hoping you guys. Well, you guys wouldn't really know, but like I was trying to think, was this really the start of like the downfall of Axel as a human being? When I saw this, him in his underwear, basically, he's wearing boxers. I'm not gonna even lie about that.
Boxers and Dookie braids. It's like what's going on?
And he had them braids, and I was just wondering what his sobriety was at this point. Is this the start?
No, it was none.
The first of the poor decisions. That's what we'll call that.
Yeah. Well, it was against Hack, so I mean, it was. I bet you that was great live. If in the arena, because the crowd loves Axel, mm-hmm. And then they definitely love the Shah.
And what was presented of the match was good. It was It was good stuff, and like you said, they were both over in the arena, so the crowd, the match definitely went over there. But this was I think from Aaron's rundown when he did the rundown of the actual show. This was the second show on the November to Remember card. So one of the matches to get the crowd warmed up for the action to come, and
for some reason I just kept expecting to hear 911's music. Like I really didn't think they were going to have a finish, because I knew that they didn't want to bury. I knew they didn't want to bury either one of them, because Axel doesn't mind losing, and he usually doesn't lose.
I expected the Dudleys to be involved somehow, because Devon's in this team with Axel right now against Bubba and Big Dick Dudley. So right. I was with you though, Chad. I was expecting some kind of a schmoz ending, but.
No, 4 minutes, it said. 4 minutes, 28 seconds. At least Axel hits his marks, I tell you that.
I wonder if teaming with Devon's what got Axel to get the dookie braids.
Why didn't he have a dookie chain?
He went to the barber shop with Devon.
Reggie B. Fine's wife.
Instead of getting a high fade, they gave him some dookie braids.
And extensions. Because his hair ain't that long either.
He's going to start coming to the ring to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
He's wearing a triple fat goose.
No like shit. A FUBU jacket.
It's the first of the month.
In a big FUBU jacket.
No, it's a triple fat goose jacket.
He's gonna start cutting promos about the Crossroads.
Oh, yeah. Bones hacking rotten.
Oh shit! All right. So next we get.
And if anybody knows about the first of the month, it's Hack Myers.
Why?
Welfare checks.
He never even got them. He was too busy getting his mail at my house around then, so he wasn't getting the welfare checks at my house.
The next segment we have on the show is a BWO segment with some weird shit in here. The BWO segment is in black and white, like an NWO segment, of course.
Where's house that was?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they talked about. I didn't write anything down other than BWO promo because I was getting ready to write down a point, and I was like, they ain't made any points. Screw it.
I'm assuming, Aaron, it was either Paulie's house or Tommy's house.
Possibly.
Oh,
they had
or a hotel. I don't know what.
No, it wasn't a hotel because they had the mid '90s setup with the speaker and speakers and all that shit. It was somebody's house. I just don't know whose. And then Meanie ends up bringing some coochie frito.
I didn't understand what was going on there. I was like, coochie fritos? What the fuck is he talking about?
Some Mexican dish. It was just a way for Stevie to say that he loves coochie.
Try watching that with the does yours have closed captioning on it? Like, I don't know if you can turn it off, but my Peacock has closed captioning on it. I didn't know what the hell he said because it said inaudible.
They did that on purpose. They were like, we are not translating coochie fritos.
Yeah, I don't know what they said, honestly. I just kind of was like, I think I was checking on my laundry.
But this is one of those things where I don't remember if we discussed it here or if we discussed it if we were discussing it, you and I, Aaron, on We Can't Wrestle podcast. But this is one of those things where it's like, you can have 1 week where the BWO is super entertaining and what they're doing is good. And then the next week you watch it and you're like, what the fuck is this? And it's stupid, and it's not stupid entertaining. It's just stupid. Like, I don't know. I think it's
I think it's a difference of when the BWO is maybe produced by Paul and Raven or when they're left to their own device. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was left to their own device. That was.
And Paul was like, you know what? This is the last week of the November to Remember. We don't have a lot of footage left. Fucking use it.
That's pretty much what I was thinking. Yeah, it was pretty much, we got it. We have to get him on the show somehow anyway. And we don't have anything else to put on. So yeah, they've already showed all the good stuff, basically.
Yeah, eat some coochie Fritos and some sort of like Spanish dish. I don't know.
He's oozing blue cheesemo. He also says that.
Yeah, blue cheesemo.
Like I said, I'll never completely shit on the NWO because it did do things that entertained me, but it also did stuff. And I guess to a certain extent that can be said for anything involving Stevie and Meanie, because sometimes the stuff they do with Raven's entertaining, and then there's other times where they do that odd shit they did on the playground by the beach or whatever, that I just was like, this is Kentucky Fried Movie on pro wrestling. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's like you said, good. They were left up to their own.
Compared to Kentucky Fried Movie,
right?
I was just thinking of something surreal.
Well, it ain't Kentucky Fried Movie. That's a classic. That's as real as it gets.
Big Jim Slate.
God damn.
Up next, we have footage of Shane Douglas, Brian Lee, and Francine, Tommy Dreamer, and Terry Funk. They show footage of the match. Why do I have down here something about what happened with Francine? Because I guess I didn't. Oh, Beulah clocks Francine with a cookie sheet. Okay, I did write it down. I just hadn't gone far enough in my notes yet.
Hey, didn't Funk look good?
Yeah.
Like when he was standing, when he came to the ring and he got up on the apron before he got into the ring, and like he had a good camera angle like of his body. I'm like, dude, this dude is in shape. He's looking pretty good here.
Yeah, from 94 to 97, he got back into like, what do you want to say, like 70s shape? It seems like for like 3 years he was like back. He was back in his 30s again.
I wonder if he was on the gas one last time.
Possibly.
Make that last run. You know, because that was basically at the end. That was his real last run, right?
Yeah, because I was going to say, by the time he comes into WWF as Chainsaw Charlie, he's got the pot belly back. You know, he's his arms are looking kind of floppy. I'm not in any way criticizing him. I'm just saying you can tell by the time he got to there, whatever was going on, he was like, nah, no more of that.
Yeah, he's wearing a shirt most of the time.
Yeah,
he looked good though.
So he can cover himself up.
And then I get my next note was I think Joe Gertner said something. Like, cause again, I don't know what the hell these people were saying. Like, this had to have been, like you said, it was the end of the tape, right? The end of the month.
Yeah.
Gertner says nothing of something. Like, I didn't even write down what he said. I just said it was more Gertner with Gene Anderson camera work, and then that was it.
Gene Anderson. I don't know what he said either.
I wish everybody could see what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. In between all this shit, Joey did announce that Tommy Dreamer and Beulah were going to team up to take on Douglas and Francine. And that's where I was saying where I know that this has to be the end of like the November to Remember stuff, because they're already starting to hype upcoming matches for whatever their next show is.
Which is? I'm just kidding.
I was going to say,
they're hyping it.
I think the next show is probably a Holiday Hell, because it'll be December, so I'm assuming it'll be Holiday Hell, the next big ECW arena show.
Well, I do know that if I miss November to Remember, it's a regret that I'll never forget.
They never let you forget that saying, do they?
No, they don't.
Paulie's like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever come up with.
They've been saying that since Tommy Dreamer and Tom Brady were a tag team.
When you call Paul Heyman in July and he picks up the phone, he's like, hello, if you miss November to Remember.
You don't get Paul, you get the mystery house guest. And he
says it. Yeah.
He's trying to sell you a copy of it.
Thank you for calling HHG.
If Paul's not home right now, but you can catch him on November to Remember. And if you missed it, you could just send $142 to Rob Feinstein and hope you get it.
And yes, I do have here on my notes about Gertner too, but same as you, Aaron. I just wrote down Gertner does Hype Central. I don't have anything written down what he actually said.
I'm gonna hype.
That's pretty sad. 3 of us watched the same show around the same time, and none of us could figure out what the hell Gertner was saying. That's how much we cared.
Well, after that, we cut to they do show after Dreamer talks about the mixed tag match coming up, Douglas and Francine versus Tommy and Beulah. They do show footage of Douglas putting a belly-to-belly suplex on Beulah McGillicuddy. We cut to Joey Styles in the ring, who introduces us to Too Cold Scorpio, who is having his last night in ECW. It starts out sentimental. You know, Joey says, even though the crowd is chanting you sold out, Joey says,
make a point about this.
What's that?
I didn't say what you were going to say, but I'm going to make a point.
Oh, sure. Joey starts out with the sentimentalness of, you've made a bunch of history in the ECW arena. We've loved having you in ECW. We're sorry to see you go. And then Too Cold heels on the crowd. Go ahead and make your point, Aaron.
Well, he comes out and they're like, you sold out. You're a piece of shit. And then Joey's like, Oh, Too Cold, you're such a great guy. You've done so much. And everybody's like, thank you, Too Cold. It's like, you fucking sheep. Like, come on. You know what I mean? It's like, I love the ECW crowd or whatever, but they make it out like it's this thing or whatever. It's like, yeah, they're doing whatever the company wants them to do.
That's a hell of a point. Yeah, they knew he did something. Like I thought you were going to say something else, but yeah, we're getting there. But something kind of goes weird as we get into this, and then we'll figure it out. You'll figure it out what I'm going to say when we get there. But yeah, he comes out making his farewell speech, like he's leaving, but then he had to make the point about saying that he was going to be the first person to wrestle in two different companies, right? Because I was thinking if he didn't say that, what happens here, what happens next is
Yeah.
completely
Yes.
moot.
And I wrote that down here too. He does say that. He says, I'm going to be the first guy to wrestle in two places, which, like Chad said, is very important for the next half an hour. Because if he didn't say that to start it off, this would be all for naught.
Well, he almost fucks it. Like, I think he almost forgot.
I think he did too.
Because he's not the greatest in the world at what he had that part of the job. But it's like this thing's kind of like everything is kind of schizophrenic in it. The crowd's like, "You are a piece of shit. We love you. Don't leave. You're a piece of shit." And he's like, "Fuck ECW. I'm going where it matters, but never mind. I want to stick around. I'm gonna work at both places." Like, what is going on?
Dude, I mean, who could blame the guy? I mean, you know what I mean? Because again, he ain't the heel. He's going somewhere, and they made a point about the money. He's going somewhere for the money, of course. Why else is he going to go to WWE? I mean, not for the hell of it, not because they had cleaner locker rooms or anything else. So I'll be like, shit, man, that's cool. I mean, good.
That's always been one of my favorite, or I guess I'd say least favorite things about wrestling fans, especially back during this era. When somebody goes somewhere for more money, it happened, and then they use Sold Out and all that shit. It's like, why the fuck else would this guy be wrestling? He's wrestling to make money, so why wouldn't he? Like in my profession, if I get offered a better job that makes more money with better benefits, I'm going to leave my current job and go make more money. Like, how am I a villain for bettering myself? Like, I've always wondered the whole "you sold out" thing. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't happen as much anymore because of what the business is too. But like, it used to be like that back like in our generations or whatever with music. Some band would be some underground band or whatever, and then they'd sign with a company or a label, and people would be like, "Oh man, they sold out." It's like they got into music for two things: pussy and money. You know what I mean? Like nobody ever picks up a guitar being like,
I think
I'm just gonna play it for the fun of it.
Yeah, I think I'll just play in my garage. I'll play in my garage for macaroni and cheese forever.
Yeah, I'll play in this bar in front of these fat guys. They picked up that thing to get ticks and to get money.
I just want to be the next Jeff Beck, the greatest guitar player that nobody knows about, or you know what I mean? Or never made money. Because I was gonna make a statement, but I didn't want to make it seem like I was like making fun of like anybody. But like it's kind of like if you work at like a dollar store, and then you get a better job at like Walmart or something. Like do you think I care what the two other employees at the dollar store are chanting that I sold out because I'm going to Walmart? You know what I mean? Of course I did.
They'll shit on the floor and leave. Like, see ya.
Yeah, call the janitor.
Not even on the bathroom floor. Like over by the Palmer's chocolates, because they don't get Hershey reps. You just get little Palmer's.
Dude, I think I did everything. I did everything backwards. I didn't leave ECW for more money at all. I left ECW for no money. I wanted to go wrestle 7 days a week for no money. So yeah, I did it. Somebody should have smartened me up before I left. You got this all wrong. You're leaving for the wrong reason.
Well, wrestling's almost that way. Wrestling's almost that way now. Wrestling's almost that way now I remember they did a thing with. I was listening to some podcast that Sean Waltman was on, and he said it's funny because you used to bust your ass for 10, 12 years to get to the WWF, and now guys start in the WWE and wind up on the independent circuit. Like there's guys starting their careers first year in the business, they're in the WWE, and then 10 years later they're on the indies, probably making more money than they were making. Because like the whole
Well,
business is kind of
look at so many of those guys from say 2000. Let's just go 2010 to 2020. Let's just roll that before Vince was gone and Hunter started doing his thing and stuff. Think of all the names that were like on WrestleManias and shit that are just nowhere now. Mason Ryan, Alex Riley.
yeah.
There's
Ryback?
so many. There's fucking Ryback. There's so many of them. Like, and Sean Maltman's exactly right. Like that era of wrestling, there were so many people that started out like they started their career pretty much 6 months in on Monday Night Raw, and now they're nowhere. Some of them work at the oil change place.
I did see an interview with Mason Ryan though, and he admitted, like, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm glad that guy admitted it. He basically said the reason my career didn't happen is because I looked too much like Batista and I wasn't as good as him. Like that was basically what he said.
Who
Like, at least
Ryan?
he looks like Batista.
That's his claim
And
to
they
fame.
tried-
He was one of the.
They tried like 5 times to do something with him, and he just wasn't. He was in the Nexus with CM Punk. I don't know if you remember that debacle.
No chance.
Yeah.
I was checking my laundry. I was actually on hold to finish up my Between the Sheets show when all that happened. I think
It was like, the Nexus thing, which was like the last good angle. It's the last intriguing thing. It's like the Nexus thing, and when that ended, up until Vince McTurd getting fired, that like I don't remember anything about that company because it all blends together. But yeah, Mason Ryan he looked like $1,000,000, but he was bland. He had no personality, and don't feel
All
bad
right,
that you don't remember who he is.
no. I'll put it on my list to watch tomorrow.
Don't do that.
Well, I'm still looking at the hidden gems on Peacock. Fucking stupid I am.
Well, like I said, Too Cold says that he doesn't intend to leave ECW. He's going to stay, and he is also going to go to the WWF. So he said if the next person comes out to face him can beat him, if he wins, they have to leave ECW for 15 days. But if they win, he has to leave. The person that answers that challenge is Devin Storm, because we all believe he's going to beat Too Cold.
Right. I kind of missed this a little bit because I knew where they were going with it, but I missed the actual point of him saying how long the dude had to leave for. Did he say 15 minutes?
15 days.
Oh, okay.
We need to stress. We need to stress the winner or the loser has to leave for 15 days without pay, and the winner has to stay 15 days without pay.
Pay. Okay, so what do you do in that situation? Just hold the guy outside for a double count out, so you both gotta leave without pay? How does that work? But yeah, I didn't realize at first that he was increasing the amount because I really thought it was like 15 minutes. Because I was getting confused because he kept adding the time to it. And I'm like, what? Who's got to leave? But you're leaving anyway. Right? You're leaving anyway.
This is one of those things once in a while where we talk about how ECW gets a little bit away from itself. It's like a fever dream. But yeah, Scorpio beats Devin Storm. Then he says to the next person coming out, the situation with them now, it's not 15 days, it's 30 days. And that person is JT Smith.
Well, okay. Well, ECW runs once a month anyway.
I have that in my notes. Literally, it says, so JT, if he loses, he just gets to be off till the next arena show. Okay.
You just have to drive to Jim Thorpe. Good. I don't want to drive there anyway.
Yeah, you look at your booking sheet and you're not booked at Jim Thorpe. Oh, that sucks.
I don't have to go to
Actually,
Middletown. Fuck.
I'm probably gonna actually save money because I don't have to pay for gas and trans and a
Coke.
hotel. Like, this is good.
Yeah, especially if you had to go in New York. I mean,
He's like, this is the first time in a month or in 3 years I've had a positive bank account. Great.
Yeah, they never really thought about this when they're putting these restrictions together about how long you gotta leave for. It's not
This
like when you
guy's
had
going
to
out
leave
there and losing
Florida.
on purpose.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's like it's not like it is in Memphis, or you know what I mean, or Florida where it's nice or anything. Oh, I get to sit on the beach for for 30 minutes.
It's November going into December, and these guys aren't gonna have to drive around. Like, good God.
ECW, everybody.
Well, JT defeats JT, or Scorpio defeats JT. So, like I said, JT doesn't have to show up till the next ECW arena show.
JT's defeated himself a lot in life, so it's okay to say that.
He doesn't even know. He'll still be at any show that's coming up anyway. What are they going to do? Suspend them longer? I mean, well, it's to do yourself a favor on a pole match. Just lose. so you ain't got to come back. If that was the case, you'd have a fight in the locker room that the camera didn't catch on to. That everybody's fighting to get the fuck out of there. You see the Eliminators brawling with the Gangsters, and just out of nowhere, Joey Styles yelling, "What the hell's going on?" Well, none of us want to be here. We all want to lose.
Trying to get out. The next one that comes out is Hack Myers, and the stip for Hack Myers now has gone up to 60 days. And I wrote down here, because Hack does lose this part of the match, too cold. I wrote down here, I want to see if they actually stick to this shit. We have to hold ECW accountable 30 years later. Hack can't be on the next two shows. They're not going to stick with it. I'm just saying. He's not going to be gone for 60 days, even though he lost here to Too Cold.
No, I mean, like, shoot-wise, he might not be, because this may have been when he was moving to Florida anyway.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So they could have been – so he could have told Paulie ahead of time about this, so they could have just put him in there just for that reason.
To explain him,
he wasn't going to be there anyway.
Well, I'll be interested to see if that is the case.
Right. But even if he does show back up again, are you going to be surprised?
No, not at all. It's wrestling.
It was the crowd going to start chanting at Paul, "You fucked up," like on his booking. You fucked up. Sorry. He had miles. I don't know. Fuck.
So Too Cold defeats Hack Myers, and then the next stip, loser must leave ECW for 1 year. And the person that comes out is Louis Spicolli. Louis Spicolli continues to excel in ECW. Every time I watch him in ECW here, he's one of those guys I always go with the what if. What if he'd have just stuck around ECW? What if he? I mean, I don't know. I know the demons and everything or whatever, but his habits and stuff. But man, the dude was a star in the making right now as we're watching this.
What if he just stuck around life?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
couldn't do it. That was Louis always good, man. Having Louis around was always decent.
I don't want to say this to sound like derogatory to ECW or anything, but I think he was too good to stay there. You know what I mean? Like, I think he would have. I think he still would have wound up in WCW, but if he wouldn't have croaked, I think he would have wound back up into WWE eventually.
Or Mexico.
Even though Vince didn't like him, but if he would have stuck around in life longer, I think he would have wound up back there. But yeah, I don't think he would have lasted much. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, he was destined to not be in ECW before somebody picked him out of there.
That's the only thing he liked about ECW to begin with was probably the drugs. Like, do you think he wanted to work there? Like, no, the dude's working in front of like 30,000 people in Mexico and shit. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And then he's got to come to that dump. Everybody wants to lose this match to Scorp, who's already leaving anyway. By the way, did we mention that?
Excuse me, the finish of this, Louis hits Too Cold out of nowhere with a DVD, pins him.
The DVD hit him with a DVD player. Oh, the Death Valley Drive.
An actual DVD.
Yeah, hit him with a DVD. He hit him with a copy of Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah,
and
he hit him with the second season of Sopranos.
It's good and thick. It's good and thick.
Yeah.
Empire. I hit him with a copy of Empire Records.
You should just be glad that his finisher wasn't
edition.
You just be glad his finisher wasn't the LD. Hits you with that laser disc. That'll fuck you up.
Well, I'm sure somebody in the crowd had an LP. If you just run around the crowd long enough, there was somebody with a frying pan, a stop sign, and somebody's got a record. Hit him with an 8-track.
Excuse me. But yeah, Spicoli defeats Too Cold. So, of course, now the story is Too Cold has to leave ECW for a year. Spoiler alert, I don't think he ever comes back. And
he comes back.
Does he?
He'll be back. Yeah, he'll be back.
All right.
You jump
a year later, actually.
You jump ahead.
I'm just saying he'll be back.
We'll see in a year.
Too Cold cuts a promo on the microphone. Taz comes out, pretty much tells Scorpio
to cut a promo.
Tries to cut a promo. Attempts to cut a promo. Taz comes out, pretty much tells Scorpio to hit the bricks. Scorpio says that's fine because he's going to the big leagues. I like how now, a half hour later, it's pretty much like, I didn't mean all that shit about staying at ECW anyway.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, this shit's all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys come back that he beat and they're like, well, the fact that Too Cold has to leave now has overrode that stipulation that those guys have to stay away.
But now we need people to come in.
Yeah.
So forget about the stipulation. We need you. Yeah, ECW's they're booking themselves all into a corner somehow, where it all just Paulie just comes out and just shrugs his shoulders. What do you want me to do?
Devin Storm. We need Devin Storm and Mammy Bambi back. We need them back.
No, that's when the crowd would really turn heel. No, we don't. I've never heard that before. No, we don't chant. No, we need that. I'm coming back. Like if Scorpio says that he's going to wrestle in 2 places at once, like, don't do that. That'd be great if the crowd would just turned on him.
Well, I mean, it kind of happened to Ryback on the internet, bringing him up earlier when he put that shit up about
retiring.
Yeah, like retire. Like, what would you like me to do? Go to WWE, go to AEW, go to Ring of Honor, retire. And like 87% were like retire.
And then the best part was he said that happened because of trolls. So he took the poll down and put it back up. Same result.
Retire.
Yeah, but at first retire wasn't even one of the options. Like I think because everybody said that he just automatically included it. All right. You want me to retire? At least he held to it.
That's one thing where I'm kind of, because that the chartable thing that I was able to see podcast rankings on for the longest time, where I could see where we were ranked, they sunsetted it. It doesn't exist anymore. So I can't actually see where we're ranked amongst other podcasts. But one of the most satisfying things ever when I would look at that would be every time we trounced Ryback. Like that was, I kept track of how many weeks we beat Ryback.
That's funny that you said that about the podcast thing, because I listened to Bo James too, and he posted a thing about a map of the United States of where he's like big at and everything. And I was like, oh, so you're big in the coffee shops in Turkey too? at like 6 o'clock. Remember that when we were big over in like Eastern Europe or something?
Yeah, Netherlands. Yeah, we were big in the Netherlands, buddy. The fucking Vikings love this show.
Around breakfast time.
When I have my strudel, I like to listen to Relive in the Extreme.
It's strudel and short fin. Like a bunch of Nordic people listening to our shit.
I didn't even have the nerve to
they
tell.
eat beluga whale. Like, it's the only place you're allowed to eat beluga whale. Anywhere else it's illegal, but you have to eat it there because that's all they got.
That's all they
Like,
got.
there's only like 4 things that can live in the ocean here. Like a beluga whale, a penguin. Like, we have to eat it.
And Vic Valpuccio.
Like, you can't eat a penguin anywhere but like Nordic areas.
We like to have a good baked Christmas penguin.
A Tom Casati. God, I didn't even want to tell Bo about that, about how we were big in like Eastern Europe too. Like I was just patting him on the back, but like, oh, good job, buddy. I see your show's doing really well. They really care about outlaw independent wrestling in East Tennessee, in Eastern Europe.
In the Eastern Europe and Nordic region, they really love fucking hillbillies and rednecks. Talking about wrestling.
they use the
They
word
like us and they like him.
Like I'm sure the word scuffling means something different.
Here in our country, we really like Bill Ash.
He makes them nice shoes. The little Danish boy shoes.
All right, Aaron, what's next on this ECW show?
Well, Too Cold basically says, that he's not leaving unless somebody can run him out. Taz comes out, doesn't even have to touch him. Too Cold just runs away. Taz wants Sabu. Todd Gordon comes out. He ends up getting choked out by Taz. This brings out some other people. Paulie comes out, and then Paulie gets I think it's the first time in a very long time that we've seen Paulie take a bump, I do believe, right? Like, he hasn't really taken a bump since he's been, quote unquote, the booker. Like, I know he took bumps when he was like the manager of the Dangerous Alliance and stuff, but has he done like an angle where he's gotten bumped since he's like become the behind the scenes guy?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Which, from the looks of that bump, he shouldn't have anyway.
Yeah. But
it almost went bad.
Yeah, I think they had it. I think they did that for that to be like, that was the thing that brought Sabu out. You know what I mean? Like, all the other stuff, say whatever you want to say about me, call me a bitch, call me a unloyal, say I'm all about money, whatever. But then the minute he puts his hands on Paulie, then Sabu's like, all right, I gotta do something about it now.
Oh yeah, of
You
course.
know what I mean?
Of course, it's the reason why he did that. That was the only way to get Sabu like officially back.
Yeah, and it's one of those times where, like, they do the light thing where I don't think it's too hokey because it's Sabu or whatever. So it's cool. The lights go out because all these other people have come out now. Sabu's in there, and these guys are finally looking at each other after a year and a half.
And
the crowd loses their goddamn minds, and it's an ECW moment, and a good way to cap off. I know we make fun of the November to Remember, regret you'll never forget thing, but November to Remember is basically their WrestleMania. I mean, it's their big show, so it's a great way to end it off and go into the next year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Overall, I gave this TV episode itself, I went down a little bit from the previous weeks that we've been watching. This episode, I gave it a C. I mean, there was some good action in it, but there was a lot of silliness. The Too Cold thing was kind of convoluted. The BWO segment fell flat with me. Axel and Hack was fine. And then the stuff at the end was good with Taz and Sabu, obviously. But I gave this episode a C. I've been in the high B-A range lately, but this one kind of took a little bit of a drop.
You finally smartened up.
It did for me too. I didn't think like I said, there wasn't a lot of ham on the bone on this one, but I mean, we got Sabu and Taz finally getting the next progression of that, and I liked watching Louis and Too Cold wrestle each other. I mean, that was fun. But other than that, I could have gone without any of this.
I always love the lights going out, coming back on, and then when Sabu's standing there, he always has his hands on his hip like he's blown up. Like he's always got his hands on his sides.
I'm a little teapot.
Yeah, he's like, I ran all this way. I ran. Look, what was that? 40 feet, and I'm all blown up. I guess I gave it. I was going to give it a little bit of a higher grade. I was going to go like a B- because something about it entertained me. I don't know what it was. Whether it was because of the goofiness. Maybe that's what it was. Axel's hair, maybe, and like the Scorp stuff. I guess. No,
I would have rather.
No Dreamer.
Sorry. Well, it's funny that you said no Dreamer, but I was even going to say I would have rather him clip up the Too Cold thing and show more of Shane and Brian Lee versus Terry Funk and Tommy Dreamer, just because I wanted to see Terry Funk. But I know that's just me as a fan. I know as a business, that's the match they want you to buy the tape for, to see that.
Right.
But I just
but look on the bright side though. We got no Public Enemy either.
Well, they're dead, aren't they?
That's
like
a bright
WCW
side.
then.
Whatever, I'll take it. We still don't have them. No Dreamer, no Public Enemy, no Gangsters.
I figured here before we sign off on this week's show, because we started to, I can still see, even though I can't see now. Hopefully they find somebody does another website where they can do the rankings. Even though I can't see the rankings in Red Circle where we publish our show, I can actually still see the analytics as far as what countries. I just wanted to see how we're doing. Okay, United States obviously number 1 for us. Coming in at number 2, overtaking the Netherlands. Pip, pip, cheerio. We have some more listeners in the United Kingdom. And then there they are, the Netherlands, our Nordic brothers. Our Nordic brothers eating their beluga whale. eating their strudel.
Their side of penguin. With their side of penguin, deep fried penguin.
No, the fish and chips.
And then, okay, so after that, U.S., UK, Netherlands. We are also apparently growing in South Africa. So,
all right.
Oh, that's only because of all the girls that I'm meeting on the Facebook dating site. that every time I talk to them about meeting them, I always tell them that I'm doing my podcast and they ask questions about it. And
no, I don't see Nigeria on here.
Maybe that Nigerian prince will get us over.
He's going to start buying listeners with his bazillions of dollars, like he bought Joe Pedicino. Maybe we can get on ESPN3 with our show.
Well, thanks, Randy. Thanks, Nigel. Thanks, Yuri. Urine.
Surge.
Burge, Yuri, and Slavic Sam. And then I don't know what a South African name would be. Clink Clunk.
Thanks, Colonel De Beers.
No, I don't want Colonel De Beers to listen to us.
Both of the Simpson brothers.
Yeah, the Simpson brothers and their fat dad.
Fat Daddy Simpson.
Pink Panther.
Jesus.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Justin Gabriel. All right. We're going to sign off. We'll see you next week for another international edition of Reliving the Extreme. Have a great week, everybody. Happy New Year.